Autism spectrum disorder, or ASD, is a lifelong neurodevelopmental disorder. If a person is diagnosed with ASD, it can impact social interactions, communication, and learning styles. This video will provide an introduction to autism spectrum disorder, its risk factors, early signs and symptoms, and the next steps that you can take after your child is diagnosed with ASD. Currently, the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual 5th edition, or DSM-5, sets the criteria for a diagnosis of ASD. Individuals diagnosed with autism demonstrate difficulties with social interaction, communication, and may engage in restricted and repetitive patterns of behavior, interests, or activities. Symptoms may include difficulty in developing, maintaining, or understanding social relationships, deficits in nonverbal communication, repetitive motor movements, difficulties with changes in routine and transitions, restricted and fixated interests, and hyper or hyporeactivity to sensory aspects of the environment. Symptoms are most likely to appear in early childhood between 2 to 3 years old. In the past, ASD may have been referred to as autistic disorder, Asperger's syndrome, pervasive developmental disorder not otherwise specified, or childhood disintegrative disorder. The DSM-5 does not separate or describe variations in this way any longer. ASD can present differently from person to person, and this is why it is referred to as a spectrum disorder. There is a wide range of presentations which may vary in intensity across those with ASD. Variations may include the types of symptoms, severity of the symptoms, age of onset, and levels of functioning. According to the CDC, or Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, approximately 1 in 59 children are diagnosed with ASD, and it is about 4 times more common among boys than girls. Although ASD can be diagnosed as early as 18 months, most children are not diagnosed until after the age of 4 years. ASD can be associated with intellectual disabilities, psychiatric disorders, anxiety, depression, or medical conditions such as epilepsy. Scientists and researchers have not identified a single cause for ASD. The DSM-5 and CDC suggest ASD involves a combination of environmental and genetic factors. These factors may include, but are not limited to, children born to older parents, low birth weight, fetal exposure to valproate, a medication used for epilepsy, bipolar disorder, or to treat migraines, having a sibling diagnosed with ASD, having an identical twin diagnosed with ASD, or having a genetic condition such as Fragile X syndrome. It's important to note that there is no link between vaccines and the development of ASD. According to the CDC, individuals can begin showing signs of ASD in the first few months of life, while others begin exhibiting signs between 2 to 3 years old. There are some early signs that can possibly emerge in the domains of social interaction, communication, and repetitive and restricted behavior. Possible early signs that might affect social interaction may include poor eye contact, prefers to play alone, avoids or resists physical contact, has flat or inappropriate facial expressions, restricted interests, or difficulty in understanding others' feelings. Possible early signs that might affect communication may include delayed language development or remains nonverbal, repeats words over and over, doesn't point or respond to gestures, difficulty in understanding jokes or sarcasm, or gives unrelated answers to questions. Possible early signs that might affect repetitive and restrictive behaviors may include lines up toys or other objects, plays with toys the same way each time, has very focused interests, is routine-based, difficulties with changes in routine, or repetitive body movements such as rocking or hand flapping. Other signs can include sensitivity to light, sounds, and smells, short attention span, and hyperactivity. The DSM-5 states that the first symptoms to emerge in individuals with ASD are delayed language development, lack of social interests, unusual social interactions and play, and communication patterns. Within the second year, repetitive behaviors and the absence of typical play become more obvious. Recognizing signs early on can lead to an early diagnosis. This can enable early intervention, which has been shown to lead to optimal long-term outcomes. If you notice your child displays any of the signs previously mentioned, or if you have any concerns or questions about their development, please contact your family doctor for a referral to a pediatrician. For more information about services provided by Lake Ridge Community Support Services, visit lrcss.com.